Hello, Cinema Fucks, since it is the holidays of nuts cracking. Mr. Cinema Daddy himself decided to gift you fucks a present.
This shit's gonna have nuts in it.
You know, going into 2025, there was one thing I was thinking about, because I've been recently thinking about my, top 10 movies of 2024, and I came to a realization that I never really did a full video review for Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, granted, I did a written review or typed out review, and I put it out like a photo slide and whatnot, and I kind of did a video review for Deadpool and Wolverine with my buddy Film Fanatics, but it wasn't really a movie review. It was more of a hyped video for Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's check it out.
That movie was an absolute fucking banger, and I don't give a what anybody says is a 10 out of 10. Let's go, you piece of shut the fuck up. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. If you don't like it, get the
Okay, that's enough of that, but let's get into the Deadpool and Wolverine actual video movie review.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Deadpool, the other jolly guy in a red suit with a lap worth sitting on, here to tell you happy holidays. In the spirit of this most festive time of year, I've decided to release my holiday cheer all over the world. So sit back, hold on to your ornaments, guzzle a little eggnog, at least that looks like eggnog, and prepare yourself because it's time for St. Wade to put the win in Winter Wonderland. What was that? Is that glue?
Looking back on the whole Deadpool and Wolverine era, that whole summer was crazy. The build up to it, from the trailer from the Super Bowl to, the constant, theories of who's going to cameo. I mean, there was just, fake leaks and fake rumors here and there, just talking about, this certain character is going to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine. The whole, inside scoopers, trying to drop intel on who's going to be in the film, what possibly the film is about, who will show up, what could happen to the MCU and what does it mean for, the future of the MCU and whatnot, and also the X-Men films and all. But, this movie was a swan song for all the X-Men films, all the Fox Marvel films, but also like Blade, Fantastic Four, films even though they had no ties to it, but Ghost Rider, Elektra, Daredevil, all that stuff. Like it was a love letter, and it was paying homage to those eras and those times that me as a kid seeing those films, it meant something to me, even though they were pretty lackluster most of the time, or just kind of bad comic book films. But at the same time, looking back on them, it was my childhood, and I grew up on those films, and seeing this film and being such a great film and paying homage, and also being a swan song but also a love letter to those films meant so much to me. And I know for a lot of people my age and my generation, and so many other comic book movie fans. And this movie as a whole, it could have gone crazy with the multiverse. It really was the multiverse of madness, if you will. But it was a nice Deadpool movie, but Wolverine film as well. Y'all know that I love Wolverine. One of my favorite films of all time, above comic book films and films in general, is Logan. Deadpool, first time being introduced to Deadpool was the whole Deadpool and Cable tie-in comic to the Marvel Comics Civil War event. But playing the Deadpool game back in the day, which I wish I had now. That game was so fun. But anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine. Look, is it the best MCU film in the world? No, it's not even top 5 for me, at least. But I love the film. I've seen the film about 12 times, and from the action, and that it could have literally been so much of a mess of a story, the plot itself, it being a multiverse film, but really it managed to keep it somewhat not so simple, but like to the point that the audience could understand what's going on, even to the normal casual moviegoer that just watch these films just to watch them, doesn't know anything about the lore, the story, the comic book connections. They just go to watch these films for a good time. They made it simple for them, but also much as a treat for people that read the comics like me. And so many tie-ins to other past projects like the Fantastic Four with Chris Evans as the Human Torch. So many X-Men tie-ins, Elektra from Daredevil, and a nice little nod to him as well, and jokes there. Also, even X-Men fans having Gambit and that whole Channing Tatum, I can never say his name right, so I apologize, but everything about that film, the music, man.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Woo! Benevolence is thirsty work.
Huh. Where to next?
Well, I thought we'd eliminate sick kids.
Oh, dude, that's so up.
No. We're eliminating the sickness by encouraging people to donate. We're going to need some help because you and I are technically R-rated, and these are kids. Sick kids.
Did someone call for help?
Linda Carter! What the f*** are you? Aren't you a wonderful woman?
Okay, so what's the plan?
We're gonna help eliminate sick kids by raising money for Sick Kids Hospital.
What do you need me to do?
Don't be so obtuse.
So obtuse. The thing, if you don't mind.
The thing.
Come on, lady, give us the sugar.
Stand back. Here I go.
What's happening? She's gonna do it!
Who did this?
The DC lawyers, I knew it.
That's one f***ing ugly sweater.
Yeah, it's probably the same guy that got Cavill and that other Batman. Let's ride.
We should probably go untie Santa.
Never.
Man, Madonna, Like a Prayer. I mean, that song just, is 2024. I'm honestly thinking about doing like a little 2024 recap video for using that song, because even though it's a classic song, it didn't come out this year, obviously, it's Madonna, but it is 2024 though. It's the song of 2024, I feel like, if not, Birds of a Feather from Billie Eilish. But that's a whole nother conversation, totally different topic. But man, everything about this film, it disrespects but respects the Logan movie, and honestly kind of is like somewhat of a weird, well delivered sequel to Logan, but also a sequel to Deadpool 2. And really it's a nice little piece of closure to the X-Men films and what it provided for the legacy for the X-Men films and all that. And the story itself, the whole friendship and the buddy cop type film that it was between Wolverine and Deadpool, and that whole bonding there and finding friends from weird places but bonding and being like family. Family doesn't have to be blood related. Family could be anyone. Everything about this film, the action, the whole, Deadpool and Wolverine fighting off the the Deadpool army. I know that I'm forgetting the name right now for them, but the house of Deadpools, if you will, the multiverse of Deadpools. But Dogpool. I mean, come on, Dogpool. Love Dogpool. Also, nice Deadpool. Everything that happened with that. Again, the action, the comic book set pieces that felt like it was like straight out of the comic books. The lore of X-Men, the lore of Deadpool, the lore of Wolverine. Nice callbacks and nods to past iterations of Wolverine, and all around just comic book movie goodness. And I love this movie, man. I love the acting was brilliant. The story, I mean, it's not a compelling Interstellar, Inception type story, or even the Dark Knight trilogy, Dark Knight, type plot film, but it was a good setting or a nice plot for what the movie was offering. And the jokes landed for me at least. And I mean, memorable moments, memorable taglines and stuff that people are going to, call back on by, saying a line here, saying a line there, stuff like that. And like my buddy Film Fanatics, quotes that film all the time.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
This suit's all I got to remind me of who they were and what I did.
We're headed to Cassandra's at sunup.
Have fun, not my fight.
Welcome to Disney Plus.
Deadpool and Wolverine, now streaming on Disney Plus.
And so, yeah, I mean, between the era, the time, the movie, what it did for the fandom, what it did for the culture of comic book movies, and and the community all around it, and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman being the best thing ever as best friends, or whatever you want to call it. And I love this movie. I love what they did with the film, and I mean, I can go on for hours. But that's my movie review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I know it wasn't the best movie review in the world. I'm not Oh my gosh, cinema fans, I completely forgot to give the rating to Deadpool and Wolverine. I am such an idiot. Silly me. Here it is, 9 out of 10. If you don't like it, shut the fuck up. This is my review. Get over it, bitch. Anyway, hurry up. Let's get back to the video. Or come on. That's my Deadpool and Wolverine review. Thank you for watching. Like this video and follow for more. Peace.